This is how the playoff matchups look as we're going to go through them bit by bit. The Philadelphia Eagles are the number 1 seed, so they have the bye this week, so they'll be sitting back watching all these games, looking to see who they face. Keep in mind, as the number 1 seed, you don't automatically get to face one team. You have to wait to see who the lowest seeded team will be, and then you will face that as the top seed.
This team got better instantly back in October when Carolina had a fire sale and Christian McCaffrey went from one coast to the other coast. They're playing great. Their defense is always good. Seattle has absolutely no shot in this game, Chad. Absolutely none.
Eric, your chance to respond to Tim's outrageous claims that Seattle should not even be here and it should be the Detroit Lions in this spot instead.
I agree with Tim. With Shanahan, he fits in perfectly with this offense. Then you have guys like McCaffrey and Kittle and Ayuk and Deebo Samuel's not even playing yet. I don't know if he's going to be available for the playoffs. If he is, that just makes it even better for Purdy. He doesn't have to put up gaudy numbers, just be efficient. And he has done that. He's proven that. And the defense has been outstanding for the 49ers. I'm not going to say Seattle doesn't have a chance. I'm just going to say I like the 49ers.
I'm going with the 49ers. I think they have probably the number 1 defense in the league. And because of that, even if this guy is a rookie and Mr. Irrelevant, which is just wild to think he was the last pick in this past year's draft, I think he can do enough to get past Seattle, probably win a couple more games, but I'm giving him definitely winning the San Francisco game.
And don't forget, this is a Giants team who was up in Minnesota a couple of weeks ago. And played very well, did not win the ball game, lost in the last second field goal. But why I like the Giants so much is their offense is clicking, and Minnesota's defense is the 31st rated defense in the league. Minnesota is just, they while they have a good record, they're sort of limping into these playoffs. I'm not a Kirk Cousins fan per se as far as how he can lead a team. I believe this has upset written all over it, and I'm going with the New York Football Giants to win this game.
When I look at the Vikings, I'm like, which team's going to show up? The team that won 13 games or the team that got shellacked by the Eagles, the Cowboys, and
Green
the
Bay
Packers? I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. It would not surprise me at all if it came to another last-second field goal by the Vikings. Oh, yeah, and that's Brown's kicker, and he'll kick a game winner.
I've lost all faith in the Vikings. Now, granted, they only lost 4 times this year. I mean, we're treating them like a team that is, coming in here on a 6-game losing streak. Spoiler alert, I am taking all 3 NFC Beast teams to make it to the next round. They're going to be well represented there as well. So I'm taking the Giants on the road to win this game.
Dak Prescott, I don't know what he's doing right now. I don't have faith in him. I don't have faith in the coaching staff. Mike McCarthy, I think, should be fired regardless. And just remember, guys, they're going up against the GOAT in Tom Brady. And if there's anybody that can pull out a win late fourth quarter, which maybe this game may come down to it, it is Mr. Tom Brady. And so, Chad, I know this is a tough pick for me. I will root for the Dallas Cowboys, and when we talk next week, I hope I am wrong. However, I believe Tampa Bay wins this ballgame.
I'm with Tim. Dak Prescott, I said this before, he's a good quarterback. He's not elite, and he leads the league in interceptions this year. I don't see him coming through. I think Brady's going to work some magic Monday night, and I'm going Tampa Bay.
Of all the matchups in this game, all the positions, everything, the Cowboys have an advantage at every single one of those, except for Tom Brady versus Dak Prescott. He's been really disappointing me lately. And with all that being said, I'm going with the Cowboys to win the game as the NFC Beast will be fully represented in the next round. So Tim and I will be rooting for the Giants over the Vikings, and you guys will be rooting for the Bucs over the Cowboys. Here are the matchups for the 7 teams that have made it into the AFC bracket. Again, we had said at the beginning of the year, toughest AFC in a very, very long time. I'm not sure at the beginning of the year I would have put any money on the Jaguars to host a playoff game.
The Chargers are kind of like the Vikings of the AFC. It's like, what are you going to get this week out of the Chargers? You've got Justin Herbert. You've got tremendous receiving core. I'm really surprised that they are not as good a running team. We got Austin Eckler back there. He's a proven running back. I just think they've got the offensive firepower that they'll be able to outscore Jacksonville.
I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars for this reason, because if there's any edge that you have coming into the playoffs. It's which team is playing a little bit better and is on a roll. They've won the last 5 games now. I think they're on a roll. I'm going with them because this game's at home. If this game was out in LA, maybe a little different story.
I think the Jaguars have better coaching in Doug Peterson. I think that's a big advantage. So I'm going with the LA Chargers to win the game on the road and advance as the 5 seed.
But now you take the number 1 and 2 quarterbacks out of the equation for Miami. Oh, yeah. And you go to Buffalo. That's going to make it tough. And obviously the emotions with the Bills the last couple of weeks and the season that they've had to endure, I think the Bills carry this one.
If I thought Seattle has no chance, Miami has less chance than Seattle even has beating the 49ers. With Tua, I think it was going to be a tough game for them. Without Tua, they have absolutely no shot at this game.
I think that the Bills are a team of destiny here. I don't know what it is. I've just felt like the Bills belonged in the Super Bowl since the preseason. And I think now with some of the events that have happened to their whole unit, their team, I think they're just going to find a way to keep going every week here. I'm going with the Bills. They're at home.
I just think right now Cincinnati is on a roll. You're starting to see Joe Burrow elevate his game into that elite status. And I just think right now everything is gelling for the Bengals. I'll gladly say Bengals over the Ravens. It's like I'm tense until the Ravens are out. I can't enjoy the playoffs. When they're out, then I'll just sit back and enjoy because I got nothing else to root for.
Yeah,
this guy, he is just cool. I mean, he's like Arthur Fonzarelli. Remember that Chad, that show Happy Days? The Fonz back in the 70s. I'm not going to say that Baltimore doesn't have a chance because this is really an AFC rivalry game. Eric said it's tough to beat a team 3 times, but I think they will do it this year. So long answer, going with Joe Cool and the Cincinnati Bengals.
And I'll go with a short answer. Bengals are winning this game, and they're moving on to the next round. Their quarterback is better. They actually have a quarterback, and the Ravens don't currently. So I'm going with the Bengals at home. We're in a little bit more in agreement here just on that one Jaguars pick, which may be brilliant for you, Tim, or it may spell basement for you. So we'll see how that goes.